Listen now, act after, and earn this with your host, Kyle Kuyat.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Kyle Kuyat, and welcome to the Lucky Number episode 13 of the Earn This podcast. Today marks day number 5 of the COVID-19 Day Transformation, which stands for Create Ongoing Victory in Daily Action. And if you're a full-time listener, you're probably getting sick of me saying that over these last 5 days. But if you're a first-time listener, welcome. That's what we're all about here at the Earn This podcast, which is making ourselves better today than we were yesterday. And these COVID-19 Day Transformation episodes have been quick, tactical ways, one quick idea that you can use to make yourself and your life better and easier for you instantly. So quite frankly, guys, I was feeling a little bit frustrated today. I was a little bit impatient as far as things go. And obviously with everything that's happening right now, it's easy to feel that way sometimes. But thankfully, over the last few years, I've learned how to turn some of these triggers internally that normally would hold me back into things that can move me forward. And that's what I want to share with you guys today, is how to not let these emotions, whether it be for you worry, impatience, anger, frustration, irritated, annoyed, whatever that negative emotion is for you that typically will hold you back. I want to share with you a quick couple step process as to how you can not only maintain that control, but to use it to your advantage. So everybody knows Newton's law, right? Newton's third law. Pop quiz? No? I actually bet you do. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, right? Meaning that whenever you're feeling any of these other emotions, there's an easy way, in fact, the universe or whatever you want to call it, actually wants you to feel something that's completely opposite and it's willing and ready to go. You just have to go out there and grab it. So how do we do it? The first thing is to recognize whenever you feel any of those triggers that you can flip the script. So rather than succumbing and believing that, hey, you know what? I feel impatient right now. I feel worried. I feel frustrated. Rather than believing that emotion coming into your body, seeing it from the outside in. Because we can see when people are frustrated, right? We can see when people are annoyed. We can see when they're worried. And it's easy for us as quote unquote outsiders of them to look at them and see that they're experiencing that emotion. But imagine if you can do that for yourself. And you actually can. Because the second part of that is to realize that these triggers are good. They're not actually things that you have to believe or have to abide by. Because imagine if every single time you felt one of these emotions, rather than one of those emotions that typically is holding you back, you're able to leverage that to move you forward. With how often you're feeling that way or you feel those emotions in your day-to-day life, imagine that for a second. Imagine how much different your life would be, how much more productive your life would be if every single time you felt anxious, if you felt depressed, if you felt worried, if you felt impatient, if you felt any of these emotions, that you actually used it to your advantage to make you better. And you can do that. But the third step in all this, tying it together, is action. And action in the complete opposite direction. So for example, if you're feeling impatient about not being able to go to the gym right now, or if you're feeling irritated about that, that's what I felt today. I immediately got on the ground and started doing push-ups. The thought there is, what can you do right now, specifically, that is going to move you forward? Sometimes it's related like that. Other times it's not. Another example would be, yeah, we're all pretty much quarantined right now. We can't do a whole heck of a lot that we used to. But what can we do? As I mentioned before, we can control all these other aspects and make ourselves better, make our lives better. Listen to podcasts like this that make us think a little bit differently. And I applaud you for being on here today, because that is a huge step throughout all of this, is recognizing the things right now that you can control. So to recap, part number 1 is to recognize your triggers. First thing you have to do is recognize that emotion, and you don't have to believe it. Look at it on the outside in and view yourself and those emotions that come to you as you basically just viewing somebody else or viewing a friend. The second part is to recognize that it's positive, because those emotions no longer have control over you. In fact, you can flip it and do an action, which brings us to step number 3, that is either going to improve you in something directly correlated to that specific emotion that's the opposite of it, or doing something that's going to make you better that you can put immediate action to now, and using that is leverage moving forward. Now, do I still feel those other emotions sometimes? Absolutely. I feel a lot of these things almost every single day in some way, shape, or form. But the more you can control how you respond to it and see it, you're going to start to see your life shift in the way you view things change instantly. So I hope this episode was helpful for you and that it challenged your way of thinking a bit, because this is something that I started to implement a few years back. And like I mentioned before, has changed my life completely. As always, guys, if you did find value out of this today, I hope that you share this with a friend, not just simply the podcast, but the concept. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're here to do. We're here to help people, to help you improve your lives, make yourself better than you were yesterday. I'm Kyle Kuyat. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.